Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
I found this yesterday, and excuse me, it's choking me up already. And I'm going to keep this one. We're going to hear more about this in the future. This is one of the great openings for the morning, I think. Life is like a camera. Focus on what's important, capture the good times, develop from the negatives, and if things don't work out, take another shot. I love it. Morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith. And God bless America. Followed by a Patriot. Come on, Patriots. Call in with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, good morning. And a good morning to you and yours. I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, and along with Wheels over at our main studio, we say good morning with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. Get ready for a road trip with the best of service at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Right now, let's go to the phone line and have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, Patriot.
Good morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well done, Keith. I've got to get a weather on, but I know you're going to call back. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. That's the way to start off the day, and right now we're going to start it off with a weather forecast. And the weather brought to you by Roger and the crew. They opened the doors early at 7 o'clock in the morning and said, come on in, world, at K&R Rental at 256 South 600 west of Heyburn. Right there, smack dab on the Burley Paul Highway. My goodness, they've got all the best of tools and equipment for rent. And I'll tell you something, folks, they've got the rototillers and all the lawn mowers, and they've got all the post hole diggers. Like I say, you can get a PhD without going to college. And they've got everything, washers, special washers for cleaning up the buildings, everything at K&R Rental on the Burley Paul Highway, 678-3122. Right now, here's the weather.
Looks like we're going to have some storm action for today. Here's your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. We are looking at some isolated rain showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Now, some of those storms could produce small hail and gusty winds. Other than that, partly sunny skies with a high of 80. For tonight, that could continue, expecting a low of 52. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 84, slightly breezy winds out of the southeast, right around 5 miles an hour. For Friday night, partly cloudy skies with low 55. Saturday, mostly sunny and 81. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Hey, Gina, thank you. I appreciate that. You get a hold of K&R Rental. Roger and the crew, they want to help you with all the rental tools and equipment you need for both long and short term. Please get a hold of them today. Call if you have questions, 678-3122, or stop in at 256 South 600 west of Heyburn. K&R Rental. Merv May, come on in here. Let's sell some cattle.
Hey, good set of steer calves. They're here to get $31, 1 31, 32.
Oh, that's the chant of the world's best auctioneer. I could listen to him chant all day long. Merv May at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Big sale today at 10:30 starting time. 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Number to call for cattle consignments and sale information, 678-9411. Merv May, Cade Rocky, Lance Udy, the sale that works for you. Lots of butcher cows going through the ring today. Lots of them from Antelope Hills Dairy, Acme Dairy, TLK Dairy, The Funk Dairy, and P-Bar S Dairy, along with a great line of trailer cattle coming in there. And sale time at 10:30. Don't you miss it. This is the sale that works for you, the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Sale today at 10:30, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves. They're here to get $31, 1 31, 32, 2 1/2, 3 1/2, 134, 4 1/2, 5 1/2, 135, 50, 135 1/2, selling $35. Zeb Bell, get the bottom again.
Want to remind everybody that, and Doug will probably mention this later on too, but I want to give another shout out to the American Legion Post. Let me get my papers over here. I had kind of a destructive force come in the window here a little earlier. I left the window open and the wind was blowing in, and I've got papers all over the place. American Legion Post 77 over in Paul's going to have their annual German sausage breakfast, and it's $8 per plate. It's going to be this coming Saturday, day after tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Get up early, enjoy all the good eating. 7 to 10 at the Wilbur C. Hall on 132 East Wayne Street in Paul. Don't miss that. You know, I want to say thank you to some folks that have ridden the horse with us on this program for a long time, and that's Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-0459. They open up early in the morning at 7:30 to serve you till 5, Monday through Friday. And this isn't brag, this is a fact. They have all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs. Yes, they do, along with the most highly trained people serving you. And it's going to be about time to crank up that air conditioner. They've got all the filters to keep it running efficiently and cool at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. By the way, I've had a lot of people call, when are we going to have Lunch Bunch again? We miss it. Well, so do we. Deanna and I do too. And the next Lunch Bunch is going to be on June 21st. And incidentally, that falls on the first day of summer. So that's going to be Thursday, June 21st at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley. Hey, Thomas and the crew are ready to serve all of us, as they are you, every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Anytime, all the time. At America's Diner. You stop in at 611 North Overland in Burley, or the other location of Denny's Restaurant, 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. Yep, great food. I love it. You're going to have a great time at Denny's Restaurant. A lot of things in the news today. A big scare and getting kind of scarier, if you will. I was reading a report and listened to an official with the government that said terrorists are expected to increase the use of drones to attack us at sporting events and concerts. Now, on this program, we're going to be blunt and honest. And some people have said, oh, well, don't scare us. Well, no, that's not the right approach. If you want to bury your head under the quilt or in the sand, you go right ahead. But I'm going to tell people that they need to be cognizant and aware of things that are out there in the world that might not be all roses and lollipops. The use of drones, and there was a book put out not too long ago, and I read this book about 2 years ago and had the author on the air, and he had made these same very cautious and dangerous predictions that terrorists were going to start using drones to land or just fly into concert areas or sporting events. And what was really disconcerting to me was when I called some people on this yesterday, back on the East Coast, that are involved in national security. They said, we really don't have any concentrated efforts or plans on how to stop this. Oh, well, that gave me a case of the warm fuzzies, but they are working on it. They are working on it. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I've got another story I want to share with you, and when I heard this yesterday from a food service representative, my mouth just fell open, and I stared in disbelief. Maybe you folks won't take it with such a shock and awe like I did, but I'm going to talk to you about it in just a minute because it absolutely astounded me. We'll talk about it in a minute. Don't forget Pomerelle Place at 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. Yes, they are going to have a great big celebration on Father's Day weekend on June 16th. Pomerelle Place is going to have an auto show from 10 to noon, and then at noon they're going to have a big barbecue, and then a concert on the lawn at Pomerelle Place. Whoa, baby, this is going to be fun. You better get on over there and give Holly a call at Pomerelle Place, a place for senior living, 1301 Bennett Street in Burley. These are really good folks that really care about seniors, their safety, their security, and their future. Give them a call, Pomerelle Place, 677-8212. While I have just a moment, I can't help it. Every single time I do this ad, I always chuckle a little bit because of the name of the truck. Yeah, I'm talking about Dino's Septic Service over in Rupert. And you know that they take care of all the liquid waste removal and the sewer and sink drain lines cleaned and water and sewer lines installed and septic tanks pumped. They do the job that you and I don't want to stand out there in hot weather and go, pew! No way. They do a great job. Dino's Septic Service, you give them a call in Rupert at 436-6526 or in Burley, 678-1638 with that big truck that says, smells cargo on the way. Dino's Septic Service. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again.
Yes, my friend.
You know, I want to give you a description of what I think of the Democratic Party.
Okay, quickly.
Years ago, I used to go to Boise quite a bit, and this time of the year, you'd see a lot of those ground squirrels running out on the highway, and they would get hit by cars, and guess what? The others would come running out there not to help them, but to eat them. And the thing of it is, I'm going to compare them with the Democrats nowadays. They're beginning to eat their young because McCabe, he's going to throw Comey under the bus, and then Comey's going to throw Loretta Lynch under the bus, and it's going to be a feast.
Yeah, but let me tell you something, though, Keith. It's not just eating the young in kind of a representation of what happens. It's also throwing the old under the bus. The Democrats are actually throwing the Bill Clintons and others like him under the bus also. Did you see how they have disavowed his past record? And Wheels, there's a lot of static on the line and feedback, please. They've actually gone after Bill Clinton, and they're not too happy with him now. I'm surprised. I'm kind of sharing shock and awe.
I think he needs to sharpen his shovel a little bit because he just keeps digging his hole deeper.
You know what?
You know?
There's a guy that is...
His mouth. He makes another shovelful.
They call him a political genius. That's what's been said of Bill Clinton. And you used a very apt description of what's happening to Bill Clinton because he just keeps digging the hole deeper all the time. If he would just shut up and walk away, Bill Clinton would be a lot better off.
everybody would be better off.
There you go. Keith, God bless you, man. I appreciate your call. Thank you.
You bet.
All right. Good analogy there. I like that. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. This might, when I start this story, it might step on certain people's toes, but believe me, I think those toes need to be stepped on. And we'll step on those toes after I take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Well, don't step on my toes.
Well, get out of the dance floor then.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, the Democrats are going to start eating each other.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. I mean, they're going to go into self-preservation mode. And like McCabe wanting immunity.
Yeah.
First off, the man lied several times under oath, and so I wouldn't trust anything he said, whether he had immunity or not.
Yeah, but wait a minute, Doug. You know, because you're a follower of the news, of the real news, there is so many bombs that are hidden in the Democratic field right now that the Democrats are stepping on more than just this deal with McCabe and Comey and what was done with Loretta Lynch, etc. This deal with Iran, finding out what the Obama administration had done behind the scenes in kind of a cloak and dagger situation, this is going to absolutely explode in Barack's and that administration's face.
Exactly. That's exactly it, where they give Iran access to the financial.
Can you believe that in the American public? We're sitting back, and the naivete of the American public is absolutely astounding. We should be lining up Pennsylvania Avenue, we should have at the time he was in office, with pitchforks and threw the guy out of there.
Well, he was the best destructor-in-chief that we've ever had.
I agree.
I mean, he has brought this country back probably 100 years in race relations. And he's taken us down the path of we are no better than, well, the third world country. So that's where we're going to be. Well, and the reason they're doing this is for their one world order.
Absolutely. And you know, the people in the audience that are not aware of what was happening, I'm going to give it in very simple layman's terms, that the Obama, and caller number 2, I know you're waiting, wait patiently, please. The Obama administration secretly sought to give Iran, the Ayatollah, and these punks and thugs with Iran access to our United States financial system so they could basically launder the money and put it back into their account. This is absolutely insane.
It is. It is. And as much as we know, I am so frustrated, as much as we know what Hillary has done, what Abedin has done, what Comey, what McCabe, Brennan, and I can't think of it.
Oh, John Brennan is a piece of work. Mamas, don't let your cowboy or babies grow up to be John Brennan.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as we know that they have done and the laws they have broken, and not a pair of handcuffs has been brought out.
Oh, my gosh.
I am outraged.
Well, if this deal, and again, I want to reiterate, everything right now is in the subjective stage of finding out all the information. But if this deal with Obama and the money and the coercing of a couple of U.S. banks basically to launder the money for Iran, if this all comes to fruition, Dougie boy, the you-know-what is going to hit the fan.
Oh, yeah. Just grab your popcorn and a soda pop and sit back. If we have equal justice under the law, it's going to be fun to watch who eats who and who throws who under the bus.
I agree. I got another call waiting, but you've got that American Legion Paul Post 77 breakfast this Saturday morning. And what else do you want to say about it real quick?
Well, I have no more tickets.
Well, son of a gun.
I mean, the people have called, they've got them, and I hope they enjoy their breakfast. It's a good deal. They have German sausage, eggs, hot cakes, coffee, juice, and hot chocolate.
Oh.
And it's for a good cause.
Absolutely. Yep.
So,
I agree with you.
For helping promote it.
Doug, anytime you have something to promote, you know you have a friend right here on the other side of the microphone. So you take care, and God bless you, and thanks for calling.
All righty. I got something in the works in the next week or so. I'll get with you.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much.
At lunch bunch.
Thank you.
You bet.
Caller number 2, I urge you to stay on the line. I got to pay one bill. I'll be right there. I want to say thank you to Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Now you know where they're at. Now, I'm going to give you the number, 678-1191. Now you got all the information you need to call Nick Greenwell and any of the physical therapists and say, I got an owie. I'm recovering from surgery. I'm recovering from an accident. I need your help. Well, that's what they can give you is help and assistance with the best of exercises and, of course, that hydrotherapy pool. Oh, they're good. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, 678-1191, helping you get back to being you. Caller, you've been extremely patient. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
You know, when a young person decides to become a police officer, they take an oath to protect and serve the community. And many of them have paid the ultimate price. When our senators and congressmen and the rest of the bunch take an oath, and they get into office to protect the people of the United States, a lot of these politicians become fat, bloated, corrupt, and untouchable. And this is where a big of our problem is. They are untouchable.
Politics today, Tony, with some of the under-the-table stories that we're learning about, the illegalities and the abuse of power and the abuse of our money as taxpayers, it's really leading me to say this, and I mean it. I believe now I'm going to start advocating for term limits to throw the bums out of office after a certain period of time, whether it's one re-election and then they're out or whatever. I think the corruption back in Washington, D.C. is running rampant.
You know, how many of these people that are up in that high office has given their lives for their country?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
That's my feelings this morning.
All right. Well, Tony, you're always appreciated. Wheels, again, you got to ride that knob over there, buddy. We're getting way too much feedback on these calls. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Tony. And I want you and Mary to have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too, and I hope everything's okay at home.
I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. Very nice people.
Bye-bye.
I want to get into this story in just a moment if I can, and it's about EBT cards. And I heard a story yesterday that my wife and I were sitting there and our jaws dropped as to what I think is total abuse of the money, our money that goes to help welfare recipients and their groceries. And the person that told me this is, I think, above reproach and knows exactly what's going on. And when I heard this, I was just absolutely in shock. I'll tell you about it in just a minute. Barry Equipment and Rental, Sales, Service, and Parts at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, and that's with my good buddy Juan. Hello, Juan. He's probably out in the back sandbox right now teaching somebody how to drive a Bobcat. And then, of course, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls with Eli, and then the Nampa location. All your equipment rentals, all the retail equipment sales. It's easy to say if you say it right. And, of course, they've got all the Walker lawnmowers. Once you've tried one of those Walker lawnmowers, holy buckets, you probably won't stop with your lawn. You'll mow the whole neighborhood's lawn. They're fun. They're great. They're the best. Barry Equipment and Rental, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with Juan, Addison Avenue West, Twin Falls, Eli, and in Nampa. Barry Equipment and Rental. This story that was told me yesterday was about just one instance of what I think is abuse to the EBT cards. A gentleman that I've known for a long time, and he is a food service representative, and I'm going to leave it as vague as that because I don't want to get him or anybody else into any trouble for relaying this story. But he told me about a family of six that spends on an average per month with their EBT cards over $365 a month on ice cream. I paused to let that soak in. I paused to let the chocolate sauce run down the vanilla. I paused because when I heard this, I couldn't believe it. Deanne and I probably don't spend half of that per year on ice cream. $365 a month on ice cream on an EBT card. I have maintained, and this is where I want the audience to jump in here, I have maintained on this program for a long time there are so many abuses, gross abuses to our welfare system that I absolutely have called for, and I've mentioned it to senators and congressmen, a complete review, a study, a case-by-case study of people that are on welfare and people that are receiving money like for their EBT cards and the abuses of the system. It's got to be tightened up. There is not anybody in their right mind that I think can call me and justify $365 a month for ice cream. We all make sacrifices. And we that are taxpayers, that hold down jobs, pay our bills, and quite frankly, many other people's bills, it's about time I think we had a voice in how our money is accepted, how our money is used, and why is our money abused. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, maybe you don't find this at all an interesting topic of $365 a month going to ice cream, but I find that atrocious. And I find it something that should be looked into. And quite frankly, that even more solidifies my ideas and goals that on a case-by-case basis, welfare recipients need to be reviewed and studied as to the value and or whether they should keep getting the funding. I had somebody tell me not too long ago, oh, well, that would cost too much. Baloney. I think it's going to cost far less to take the abusers off the system. Maybe it's 25%, whatever the percent might be. That's going to save all of us taxpayers money. And it's not going to make me and others so doggone mad that we want to have a revocation of the system. I am fighting mad over this thing. $365 a month for ice cream? Call me and let me know your thoughts. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Maybe you don't think that is out of line. I think it's absolutely asinine. Scott Gano Landscaping and Tree Trimming. Don't forget it, 336 South, 450 west of Heyburn. And you can call them on either the office number, 438-2485, or Scott's cell phone at 431-8733. Get all your trees and your shrubs all trimmed up. And don't forget, now's the time to get your fruit trees trimmed. Absolutely, now's the time. And they can do the job. They are so good. Scott Gano Landscaping and Tree Trimming. Number again, 438-2485. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Zeb. How things going?
Well, I want to hear your opinion on what I just said.
Well, you're going to get an opinion. What happened is for about 2 years now, I've been on retirement because I had a congestive heart failure, and I do get a supplement of food stamps each month. About $70, and I just basically the only thing I ever get it for is stuff, the staples, like with bags, potatoes, vegetables, fruits, things like that. Maybe some whole wheat cereals, things like that. Things that really, But as far as buying all that in ice cream, that's just absolutely ridiculous. That's terrible.
Can you imagine, and I can because I figured this out last night. I took a calculator and figured it out. how many containers, how many boxes of ice cream bars, how many different flavors. I mean, it's absolutely going to blow your mind if you sit down and figure it out. With the average cost of maybe, let's say, $6 or $7 to a canister of ice cream or whatever the case might be, sit down and figure out how much that is and how much that family's going through. This is absolutely ridiculous. $365 a month on ice cream?
You know, that's nonsense, because that program, when it was set up and everything, and I'm sure it was set up, you know, for people to buy the necessities, the things they really need to get, instead of something like ice cream, which is just really what you call a luxury.
Well, it is a luxury. It is a luxury. You're absolutely very well founded in your verbiage there, because it is a luxury. Why in the world should taxpayers invest in welfare checks to help others when they're going $365 a month on ice cream? That's not an investment in their health. It's an investment in killing them.
Exactly. I mean, and I like ice cream like the next man, but if I don't have it, as far as regular cash, I don't get any. That's it.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I have said and maintained these feelings that there is a definite need for help in our society, and I don't mind helping. But when I see an abuse or an absolute abuse to the system, then I say, close the doors, let them get to work, let them suffer, and figure out how to maintain their own responsibility.
Well, I've seen one guy just kind of close off on this. When I went to the store, it was about a year and a half ago, and I was in line, and there was some guy that he had an EBT card himself, just up ahead of me, and he paid for, I think, some really nice-looking lobsters, if you can imagine.
Oh, boy.
And he was using his EBT card, and I just kind of thought to myself then, the guy's got a lot of nerve, because that's not really what you call a necessity. You just,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for being so honest and sharing with us, and I appreciate that. God bless you, man. Thank you.
You betcha.
All right. Take care.
Have a great day.
What are your thoughts? Come on, audience. I mean, the abuses to the system that we, the taxpayers, fund. I personally, like I said, I will help. I will contribute. I have over the many years that this program's been in existence. We try to do as much as we possibly can with charity work to help others. But when I see others abuse the system, it makes me fighting mad. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Stoats Equipment with Ag Minutes every Tuesday at 9:47. Don't miss this. Absolutely. I thank Vic and the crew at 119 Overland and Burley, featuring agriculture and the people and events you need to know about right here in Magic Valley. Thank you. Stoats Equipment with Ag Minutes on Tuesdays, making your life easier. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning again, sir.
Yes, sir.
I like what President Trump's idea is to, if you're on food stamps, they get a box of food, they get the staples like rice, beans, and some canned meats, and that's it.
Doug, have you and your wife sat down and ever figured out how much ice cream of various and assorted flavors and types, $365 a month?
Yeah, I know it. That's almost $4,400 a year. And I'll bet you my wife and I, we don't spend, if it's at $5 or $6 a gallon on ice cream, I'll bet we don't spend $20 a year.
Oh, I know we don't. I know you're spot on. As a matter of fact, I bought a gallon of ice cream at the end of April, and we may have to discard it because it's still 3/4 in the refrigerator.
Yes, yeah, that's ridiculous. And I know that a mother of 4 with food stamps will get in excess of $800 a month.
Or more.
Yeah, excess.
Yeah. And
you take a family of 4, father, mother, and 2 kids, if they shop, Wise and everything else, they can probably get by on about $450 a month if they just buy the staples and, grow a garden, can their own stuff. You can get by on less than that.
Well, what's wrong with this picture, Doug? You and I are the taxpayers, along with the majority of my audience. We're the taxpayers. And we're the ones that are footing the bill to fund the money to put in the access of these cards for EBT cards so that others can go and have decent eating, okay? But it's not decent eating. It's an abuse of the system and absolutely robbing us, the taxpayers, when a family spends $365 a month on ice cream.
Exactly. Well, like that guy in San Diego, there was a guy on the news. He plays music on street corners. People give him cash. He's a panhandler. He gets food stamps because he has no reported income. He gets assisted housing because he has no reported income, and he uses his food stamps to buy steak and lobster.
Yeah, I saw that story. I read about this guy, and to be quite frank with you, there's one of the people right there. Able-bodied, healthy, he can go out and get a job and be self-supportive, but he's ripping the system off, which means he's taking the money from Doug and Zeb.
Exactly, and like that previous caller, you have a medical condition that comes on and you need help. By God, you and I, Zeb, I will, and I know you will be one of the first ones to step up and offer.
Absolutely.
But if you're going to take advantage of me and try to rip me off, I'll be one of the first ones to put my foot down.
I would love to take a great big red marking pen and put an X through their name and say, "Sorry, Charlie, get to work, dude. You are now off the system."
Yep. Come get your 50 pounds of beans, your 50 pounds of rice, and your 20 pounds of Velveeta cheese, and enjoy.
Cook up a storm. Thank you, Doug.
God bless.
All right, buddy. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. I want to remind everybody about the Bennett Boys Auction Service. Big sale this Saturday, June 9th, located in Shoshone at 503 Rail Street. Look for the auction signs. And, of course, it's going to be managed by Bennett Boys Auction Service. Garrett Construction Auction. Trucks and a crew bus and pickups and trailers and construction equipment. Tractors, welders, shop equipment, even a speedboat. My goodness, all of this at this sale Saturday. They bring down the gavel at 10 a.m., and that's going to be in Shoshone. Look for the signs of the Bennett Boys Auction Service. No sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they sell them all. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Burl.
Yes, sir.
I was just kind of thinking about the ice cream going out the door at the grocery store. You don't suppose they had a little van or ice cream truck out there with a bell on it? They just loaded it up in that and then drove around town.
No.
Do you?
No, I tell you what, I know more about this situation than I can really tell on the radio. And I can tell you that these are leeches that are absolutely leeching the system and our billfolds. And it makes me very upset, Earl.
Yeah, and I suppose a leech's elevator doesn't get off the bottom floor either, does it?
Leech doesn't know how to push the button.
Or ring the bell.
There you go, Earl. Appreciate you, man. How's things up on the mountain this morning?
A little slow. My tailbone's kind of getting worn, but I'll get it off the ground here after a while.
Okay. Have a great day, Earl. Thank you. God bless you, man. Thanks.
See you, man.
All right. Caller number 2, I'm going to take your call before the weather. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, my sister worked at a grocery store for many a year, and she had a good idea. Whatever you can get on WIC, that's what you can get on food stamps. Maybe expand a little because you've got adults.
Yep.
And if for some reason you have a medical situation that says that you need to eat a particular type of food, because I have a daughter who has a medical situation that there's certain things that she can't eat that may be on WIC or may not, then you better have a doctor's excuse to get it passed.
Well, let me ask you something, my dear lady, and you're always so kind to call. You're going to have a medical situation if you eat $365 worth of ice cream every month.
Yeah, well, that's true, too.
Yeah.
Although, ice cream is my favorite food, but I don't think I could handle that much ice cream in a month.
You know, I'm very open about this. I had a heart attack about 4.5, 5 years ago. And I've rebuilt my heart, the strength and everything because of proper eating and a lot of exercise, as many people can. I'm very blessed. But one of the things I loved, I've had to cut way back on and maybe only have on occasion, is a little ice cream or a little sherbet, whatever. But to say that you can eat for a family of 6, $365 a month. Do you realize, can you envision how much that is?
Probably 365 pounds per person.
There you go.
On their body.
There you
Not
go.
in ice cream, but in body fat.
Amen. Hey, listen, thank you for your call. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, God bless. Caller number 2, I'm going to ask your indulgence and patience. Sit back, relax, kind of look at the ceiling, count the dots in the tiles. I'll be right there. I got to get a weather on real quick, sponsored by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And, of course, they are located right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. And the number to call for a hearing screening and make sure you're A-OK, 312-0957. Dr. Pickup and Dr. Mitchell, the best. And really, you can trust your hearing to Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Here's the weather. I'll be right back.
Looks like we're going to have some storm action for today. Here's your weather forecast for Zep at the Ranch. We are looking at some isolated rain showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Now, some of those storms could produce small hail and gusty winds. Other than that, partly sunny skies with a high of 80. For tonight, that could continue, expecting a low of 52. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 84, slightly breezy winds out of the southeast, right around 5 miles an hour. For Friday night, partly cloudy skies with low 55. Saturday, mostly sunny and 81. That's your weather forecast for Zep at the Ranch.
Gina, I appreciate that. Thank you. And brought to you again by our friends, Dr. Pickup and Dr. Mitchell at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And I urge you, I went over there. They helped me with my hearing. They can help you. 312-0957. Call them today. Caller, you've been very patient. Thank you.
Your apologies for not putting me right on, just be right back with you. Reminds me of that commercial. Sit back and relax and light up a Camel.
Well, don't say that on the air because I'm not advocating anything like smoking. Go ahead and make your point, please.
Well, back in the 70s, we had a commissioner that was the chairman of the commissioners, in fact, that his name was J. Weldon Beck. And he came up with this idea, instead of giving them food stamps, they would give them commodities. And I'll tell you what, he did it. And did you see an uproar? Oh, my goodness. Suddenly all these people were looking for jobs. And finally they went back to the old way. But I really admired him for having the guts to come forth with that.
Well, you know something, Keith? I maintain, like the Bible has said many times, I will help anybody. But they've also got to learn at a certain stage of their assistance to stand on their own feet and then return the favor and get to work and be self-responsible. All we're doing by allowing families to buy $365 a month for ice cream, we're allowing them to be leeches.
Absolutely, and it's just wrong.
Absolutely. Keith, I always appreciate your calls. Thank you very much. I've got another one waiting. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, God bless. Caller number 2, you're on the air. Go ahead, please. Are you there, caller? Talk to me.
Yeah, he's there, sir.
All right, come on, talk to me.
Well, I can finally get through to you, finally. Hello?
Well, then talk to me, please, Rodney.
Okay, yeah. Hey, Zeb. Yeah, my mother won one of those tickets to the American Legion's breakfast, and I need to know how to pick it up.
You can go right there to the breakfast, and they'll have it on will call. In other words, pick it up there at the event with her name on it.
Oh, okay, thanks.
All right, buddy. Thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All righty. Calls are welcome. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. You know what? I'm going to be calling a lot of senators and congressmen that I know well enough to lay this out. This has got to stop. There's got to be some kind of restrictions. I know there are the bleeding heart liberals in the audience that say, well, these people can buy whatever they want to, and they can eat how much of what and in any quantity and spend what they want to. $365 a month on ice cream? Are you absolutely flipping crazy? Holy cow. There's so much that can be used and utilized for healthy eating, but not $365 a month off an EBT card for ice cream. There is no sense to that whatsoever. Now, some of you might say, well, yeah, but that's an extreme occurrence or occasion. No, not really. There are many other such abuses to the system. Like I said, this particular person, and then I called another person that shared with me more of the abuses of the EBT cards. It'll blow your mind. I'm not going to get into all of it, but this with $365 a month on ice cream, whew, it just blew me away. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Can you imagine the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union? They are up in arms because in the 2020 census, there's going to be a question on there, are you in the country illegally? Or, are you an American citizen? Or, are you an illegal alien? They don't like that. Well, I do. I think we should have as much information as to what's going on with the abuses of illegal aliens crossing our borders, and we should have that information. Oh, but the American Civil Liberties Union, which is kind of an oxymoron, they should be more concerned about Americans than they should be people coming in from foreign countries illegally. Well, you got to strike that question. You can't put that on there. You can't do that. Why not? Why not? Oh, and last night, for those that are basketball nuts like I am, I know a lot of people don't care, and I agree, both teams that are playing in the NBA championships, I really couldn't care less about the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Wow. It's 3-0 with a chance at a potential sweep. The Warriors defeated the Cavaliers last night 110-102, and there has never been an NBA World Championship where a team down 3-0 came back and won it. And I think the turkey is fully cooked, and they're done. Believe me. LeBron James, I can't stand that guy. Nothing more than a drama queen. It looks like he's going to take an early vacation. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Our big thanks go out to our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And they say if you're getting ready for a road trip, stop over there and check out all the tires, all the different tread designs for your cars, your pickups, SUVs, horse trailers, boat trailers, whatever you need tires for, they've got them. And also, too, they offer a free pre-trip safety check. And later on this morning, we're going to have Randy Wynn from Tires West on the air, and we're going to be talking about that. Plus, also the best tire value promise in the industry. He's going to come on the air at about 10:23. So for the best of tires and the best of service, you just stop into any one of the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Whoa, let's see what else we got cooking here for this morning. At 9:06, we're going to have the Chamber of Commerce report with Sarah Seymour. She's a lovely lady that, boy, I mean, she gets on the air and she's rapid fire. Bang, 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 bang. She's got it all figured out. Then at 9:17, we're going to meet more great people that represent the Cassia Regional Hospital. 9:30, we've got Rita Ramsey, and she's going to be discussing quite a few different topics with us. And then on Cassia County School Days later on this morning, we've got a lady by the name of Jennifer Woodbury coming on the program. And then a segment at 10:30 this morning everybody likes. I've had a lot of calls on this. Sportsman's Warehouse sponsors the Old Fishing Hole with Josh. And I can tell you, I called him early this morning. He was just leaving the house. He is going to be fishing out at Salmon Dam this morning while we do the Old Fishing Hole right here at 10:30. And that's going to be a lot of fun to find out how he's going to catch all those walleye or whatever he's fishing for. So don't miss that. We're going to take a little break right now and send it over to Wheels, and then we'll be back in about 6 or 7 minutes right here on Zeb at the Ranch, so don't you go away. Wheels, play him a tune, boy, play him a tune. Oh, good morning, good morning. Might cloud up, might not, might rain, might not, and it might be a nice day. Might not. Anyway, good morning. It's always a great day to visit with you. Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell, of course, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. Stop in and see them today. Along with some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. We're going to have the Chamber of Commerce report in just a moment, but first and foremost, I want to remind everybody about our dear friend Joel Heward over at Hanson Mortuary, along with his family and his staff, serving you and your families always, always with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Please, please remember they are there to help you and serve you at Hanson Mortuary. Number to call, 436-5636. And don't forget, Joel Heward also serving you at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. And Joel wants to remind everybody the 4th of July is right around the corner, and they're going to have a Before the Big Parade in Rupert breakfast starting at about 8:30 in the morning right there at Hanson Mortuary, and the food is going to be great. Don't forget that. It's kind of a tribute to our veterans and everybody else. Don't forget to be there on the 4th of July. And also, real quick, I want to say a big shout-out to Ark Animal Hospital, Dr. Bill and Dr. Jordan Nesbitt, the whole crew over there, always taking care of your animals, whether they're itty-bitty kitty cats or if they're great big cows and horses, etc. They're a mixed animal practice, meaning they can take care of them all and keep them healthy. Absolutely. Stop in. They're located at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. Ark Animal Hospital, with a telephone number to remember, write it in big black letters or numbers on your refrigerator, 678-1177. 678-1177. Ark Animal Hospital, they have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Well, I don't know if her nose is cold, but we're going to find out what's going on with the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. What do you mean clearing your throat? Sarah's not there?
Give me 1 minute.
All right. Sarah Seymour, the director of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, should be ready to rock and roll with us this morning. Good morning, Sarah. Dead air. Oh, I don't like that. Where is she, Wheels? Where's Wheels?
Okay, I'm here. Hold up, sir.
I wished I could, but it's live radio, so why don't you get her?
Yep, she's on the line.
She's on the line. There you go. Good morning, Sarah. How are you today?
Good morning, Zeb. I'm great. How are you doing today?
You scared me because we couldn't get you on the air.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. We had board meeting this morning. You know, they always run over a little long.
Well, now, do those board meetings, do you spell that B-O-R-E-D or B-O-A-R-D?
Well, you know, lately they're B-O-A-R-D because we have so much to discuss. You can't get bored.
Okay, well, now you are really, your personality is showing forth on these programs to where you are rapid fire, no nonsense. What's going on at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce?
Oh, again, we have so many activities on our calendar this year. I encourage you to go to our website, www.minicashiachamber.com, and take a look at our calendar. I think we have something on there every single day for this next month. It's amazing.
Well, give us a little bill of fare as to what's happening.
Perfect. Today, we have a brand new member of the Chamber. They're Greystone Crossing Boarding House in Hayburn, and they are having an open house today and a ribbon cutting. That'll be from 11:30 to 1:30. The open house, the ribbon will be cut at 12:30 sharp. They are having catering by Thomas Cuisine, and they're located at 1221 21st Street in Hayburn. We're so excited to have them as new members come and support them.
Okay. And what else do you have?
Absolutely. We have our June luncheon coming up Thursday, June 14th at Minidoka Memorial Hospital. That'll be at noon. And Monsanto is going to be doing a presentation about the proposed phosphate mine in the Soda Springs area and how it's going to impact southern Idaho. We would love to have you there. You can RSVP at our chamber or just show up that day and we'll take care of you.
Okay. And anything else that you want to mention this morning? I know you've got a litany of things.
Absolutely. We have our Rockin' the Snake concert series that's coming up June 16th. That'll be at the River's Edge Golf Course in Burley. Tickets are on sale now, and you can get them right here at the Chamber of Commerce. Come on in, and we'll help you out there. McCain's is also having a hiring event that day, June 16th. Again, just contact our office. We can help you with any of this information, get it out to you.
You know, Sarah, what's the number one thing that maybe you've learned in the few weeks that you've been the Chamber Director over there? What have you learned that you appreciate the most?
Oh, my goodness. I've learned that all of our people in our community just want to be involved, and that is amazing to me. We have so many people that want to be involved in our chamber events. We have volunteers. We have people coming in every day to our visitor center. There's just so much great community involvement here. I love living in this area.
Okay. Anything else you want to mention as far as upcoming activities so we can give them a plug?
Oh, my goodness. There's just so much. We have meetings and luncheons and open house. Oh, our open house is coming up June 12th. Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. That will be here at the Chamber of Commerce. We're going to have ribbon cuttings that day for two of our members, Pose and Post Picks and Sawtooth Floral. Those are going to be at 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock. Come out anytime that day. We have popcorn and drinks, and you can check out our new website presentation that will be on loop. Come see our new giant interactive display in our visitor center, and just come meet me. If I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, I'd love to shake your hand and get to know you.
Well, I tell you what, do you go home at night and maybe just sit in the corner and tell the kids and the husband to leave you alone so you don't have to smile for a while?
You know, I would like to, but I miss them too much.
Anything else before I let you go this morning?
Oh, you know, we would love to have you here. Come into our visitor center. We're getting lots of new items. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can call us here at the Chamber anytime, 208-679-4793. I encourage you to check out our new website. We're getting great feedback on that. It's www.minicasachamber.com.
One thing that I wanted to mention, and we've talked about this in the past also, is that I had a couple of calls last week from people that make crafts and that type of thing, and they were wondering how they could have their items at the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, we would love to have that. Come on in, and we'll talk to you, and we'll tell you we'll give you the whole spiel. We would love to start getting some of our area merchants and stuff items into our visitor center. We're totally looking at revamping that. Just come on in and talk to us. We would love to get your information.
I understand that you don't wear high heels or anything. You wear Nikes because you run all the time.
You know, I started wearing heels, and I got to kick them off halfway through the day. That just doesn't work for me.
Sarah, I appreciate you. God bless you. Thanks for being on behalf of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, thank you, Zeb. Have a wonderful day.
Oh, thank you. I mean, this lady, when she gets on the phone, don't you get the same impression I do that, look out, I'm coming through? She gets the job done. Thank you, Sarah. We appreciate that. And right now, I've got to pay some bills here real quick, and I want to remind you, too, Sportsman's Warehouse. Don't forget, Reese and the crew, they sponsor that old fishing hole this morning at 10:30. We're going to talk to Josh. And they've also got another event coming up on this Saturday, June 9th from 9 to 4 p.m. at the Jerome Gun Club Range over in Jerome County. You can shoot some of the great products from your favorite manufacturers, and attending the event is free, but if you'd like to shoot some of those firearms, you got to pay for the ammunition. That's natural. And 17 and younger must be accompanied by an adult, and waivers must be signed. This is going to be a big, big event on this Saturday at the Jerome Gun Club Range, sponsored by Sportsman's Warehouse Outdoor Expo, and Sportsman's Warehouse, of course, at 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls. Reese and the rest of the crew, really, really good people. You know, when I talk about good people, Deanne, can you come in here for a second? I've got to ask you a question, if you don't mind, if you're out in the other room. I want to talk about a little bit about Vicky's Country Garden. Holy moly, Vicky's Country Garden. Every Tuesday, we have a show about gardening and everything else with Vicky at Vicky's Country Garden at 185 South 600 West of Paul. Number to call, 438-5663. She has been in business for over 21 years, helping you with all your gardening needs and answering all your questions. Vicky's Country Garden in Paul, 438-5663. Wonderful, wonderful lady. I got to make a little check mark here to see where I'm headed, and I want to remind you, too, that over on the north side, let's not forget our friends with Let's Ride. Ho, ho, ho. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays, 9 to 4. All the four-wheelers, all the side-by-sides, all the fun. Man, I'm telling you, they've got a showroom just full of fun waiting to go home with you. And all the accessories, and they got a super service department over there with Tyson and the rest of the crew. Let me tell you something, folks. You better get over there. Let's ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. It's true. This is where the fun is sold. Right now, we're about ready to meet some more great people with your Cassia Regional Hospital. Let's hear who's on the program for today.
People caring about you and your health care in the most professional and progressive ways. That's Cassia Regional Hospital, located at 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. In a moment, we'll introduce you to just one of the many dedicated medical experts serving you at Cassia Regional Hospital. Today's program, right after this. Cassia Regional Hospital provides you and your family excellent health care answers and services. They're right here, close to home. That's right. Cassia Regional Hospital offers the latest technological advances in medicine, like their new oncology programs and telehealth, which uses electronic information and telecommunications to promote long-distance patient and clinical health care. Your friends, your neighbors. Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care close to home. I'm on the phone right now with more great folks at Cassia Regional Hospital, and I'm on the telephone with Kemp Rosequist, and he is the physical therapist at Cassia Regional. Okay, tell us about your duties and a day in the life in your office. What do you do every day at Cassia Regional?
So we treat all kinds of impairments, anything musculoskeletal, any type of injuries, but recently I've started working with nerve conduction and electromyography, and so we're trying to get that program going where we can test nerves to see how well they're conducting, if there's any impingement in the nerves or any problems getting the signals down to your muscles or your skin for sensation.
All right, now let me ask you, nerve damage. I've had a lot of wrecks and a lot of accidents in my career and a lot of severe nerve damage. Do a lot of times the nerves come back and act in full capacity? Give us a little explanation about that.
They can, depending on what kind of damage happened to them. There's different grades for the kind of injury that you sustain, and depending on how bad the nerve was injured, tells you whether that's going to come back or not. If it's a very mild pinching injury, such as you cross your legs while you're sitting, and you talk to your friend for a half an hour, and you stand up and your foot's asleep. Well, that's a nerve injury, but it's a very mild nerve injury, and it goes away fairly quickly. Another one is what they used to call Saturday night palsy. So people would go out to the bar or the tavern, and they'd get drunk, and they'd come home, and they'd fall asleep with their arm over the end of the couch and lay on their shoulder, and they'd wake up in the morning, and their hand would be completely asleep and numb, and they couldn't move it. And in that case, it would usually come back, but after 4 or 5 days. Same type of injury, just a longer amount of time. So those squishing or pinching injuries will usually recover if you start to cut the nerve, lacerations, and separating nerve fibers. There's less of a chance of those coming back.
Kemp, let me ask you this question then. As we age and all of us get older, is there a natural nerve reduction as far as how we respond to our arms and legs?
There is. You'll see a slight slowing in the nerves. Usually, though, if you've stayed healthy and taken care of your body, you'll still be within normal limits. Things like diabetes, alcohol abuse, kidney disease, these things will affect your nerves, and you'll see a greater reduction in their capacity to carry a signal, and that's when some of the numbness and the tingling, the muscle weakness will then start to be evident.
Okay, but once this starts with a tingling and a lack of muscle response, etc., okay, take it from there as a physical therapist. What do you do, or how do you figure out what's best for that patient to rejuvenate the nerves and the muscles?
So I do mainly the testing. A lot of times, say, carpal tunnel is a very common thing that I'll test for. And then if they turn up positive for a pinch at the carpal tunnel or at the wrist, then I send them back over to the orthopedic surgeon who then does the surgery. Depending on how well they're recovering, they'll come back to us and may need some stretching, some massage, some type of manual therapy to get that wrist moving again. But that's, a fairly common path of treatment. Sometimes with things in the low back, there's some exercises that we can do to help stabilize the spine so you don't pinch the nerves quite as much, and people will see some relief with that. That's a little bit similar with the neck, but a lot of times once you're getting the numbness, tingling, and especially muscle weakness, you're looking at most likely a surgical repair.
I would imagine that you and your education for what you do and the treatment to the patients, whether it's a 4-year-old that fell off a bicycle or a 84-year-old that's having trouble walking, how do you discern what's best for those patients, different exercises, etc.? How do you make a program that you hope will work for them?
Well, you look at what their impairments are, first of all, and then you say, okay, you've got, a problem walking, your leg does a little curly-cue, or you kind of short-step this, and so then you develop a program on top of that. The interesting thing about, you say a 4-year-old or an 84-year-old, you just modify the exercises. A lot of times they're very similar exercises. They're just modified slightly to accommodate the age, ability, and capacity of the patient. So the other amazing thing is muscle and strengthening exercises respond pretty much the same way at a young adolescent as they do at a 70 or 80-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
You have less muscle when you're older, but the muscle response to strengthening is exactly the same.
Now, what about this new EMG service available at Cassia Regional? I'd like you to kind of feature and highlight that, please.
We're just really trying to get it going now. I've been trained at a great school down in Utah at Rocky Mountain University, where their focus of starting that university was training people to do EMGs. And so our doctors have kind of approached us and said, hey, it's been difficult for us to get patients into these other places in Twin Falls or Pocatello. Would you guys be interested in offering this service to us? And we kind of jumped at the chance, and it's taken us a little over a year to get it going, but it's a great opportunity for people here, in the Kasia area, to, not have to travel out, to come in, get their nerves tested, if their doctor thinks that the nerve is the problem. And so, I've already got a number of studies under my belt, and things are starting to move forward, and we're really excited about the response that we've had from our local doctors, and hopefully, as word gets out that this is available here, we'll see more people come in and be able to help people kind of pinpoint, where their problems are and help them then seek solutions to those problems.
Well, Kemp, if people have questions and they want to find out more about physical therapy and also the nerve damage, etc., how do they get a hold of you?
So our phone number here at our front office is 208-677-6530, and you can talk to the secretary or you can ask for me, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you need and point you in the right direction.
One more of the great folks serving you at Kasia Regional Hospital, Kemp Rosequist, and he is a physical therapist at Kasia Regional. Thank you, sir, and come back on the program soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tune in every Thursday at 9:18 right here on Zeb at the Ranch for more about the people and the healthcare services at your Kasia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care close to home.
Oh, my goodness, thank you, great folks over there. And we've got another great guy on the phone right now from Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More, and that's my old emphasis on the old buddy Jeff. Good morning at Lee's Furniture, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing great, Zeb. How are you today?
Well, Daddy's Day is just literally a couple of days away, and I understand you've got some great gift-giving ideas from the family to Dad.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that. Thank you. We do. In fact, anybody that's been in the store knows we have a huge selection of recliners. And, a recliner, Zeb, honestly, it never goes out of style. Everybody loves a good, comfortable chair when they come home from a long day to be able to put their feet up and watch the news. It's really a great Father's Day idea.
Now, wouldn't it be a great deal at your store if all the families brought Dad down to the store, they loaded him up in the pickup or the van, and they come down, and the minute they open the door, you've got a trumpet player that goes da-da-da-da-da-da, and they take him back to the recliner department, and they find one that fits just him.
Well, there's a few that have done that, but I'll tell you, realistically, even men like to have a nice surprise. Even the guys that don't like to shop, to come home and find a new chair sitting in the living room. What a great idea. And, even if a person isn't thinking about the chair, Zeb, we have sofas and love seats that have recliners. So if the room doesn't accommodate it or a person's not quite settled on a chair, to get a new sofa and love seat that have these new fancy power recliners, the adjustable headrest, the massage, the a nice leather, nice comfortable chair really just goes a long ways to showing Dad how much they're appreciated.
And the one thing is, I bet you get a lot of people that come down to Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More and say, I am sick and tired of my living room. What can you do to help me? And you've got the pros down there, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We have great staff. We've got some wonderful ladies here, great with colors and styles, can help answer the questions. And, so even for the guy that just wants to come in and that he's, just hard to please, we can find something for everyone.
Now, what else? The carpeting department, I've got to brag on that a little bit because you have carpet.
Yeah, we have the largest selection of floor covering in stock in the Mini-Kasia area, Zeb. We've got carpet, we've got luxury vinyl plank, which is the vinyl wood flooring that you can put down yourself in a weekend. We've got tile, we have laminate, any kind of floor that you can imagine we've got. And, thinking about Father's Day, a lot of guys like to have that room, that man cave, where they can kind of separate from the world. What a great opportunity to come in and get some flooring, to redo a floor, and to really finish off the touches of the room for the man.
Absolutely, and you've got a great selection of mattresses. Have you ever had the case where maybe somebody was laying on the mattress and fell asleep, and you had to nudge them a little bit to get up out of the store?
We've had a few of those. Maybe they start to drool a little bit, but we try to keep a pretty close rein on them.
What else have you got cooking over there for Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More?
Hey, we got 12 months, same as cash, interest-free, same-day delivery, and for Father's Day, just for those that are interested, free delivery. And so we'd like to make that a great opportunity for you to be able to show the father in your life your appreciation. Of course, we got great floor covering. All of it is on sale. That special is going to be on now through Father's Day, and so you don't necessarily have to be a father to take care of that aspect, but you might be the father of the home that you want to come in and you want to be able to surprise the family, get new floor covering, make that change. Summertime's a great time to do that.
I'll tell you what, I have never met people that know more about carpeting and furniture and home beautification and comfort as they do at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More, 459 Overland in Burley. Jeff, anything else for this morning?
Nope, we'd just like to wish Happy Father's Day coming up to all the wonderful fathers out there and invite the family members, the children, the wife to come in and be able to show them their appreciation with the great specials that we have right now.
He's the man. Jeff over at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Zeb. We appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Nice people over at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More, 459 Overland in Burley. Oh, by the way, don't forget, too, if you, and we all do, need to talk about and check on our life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more, you be sure and check with our friends at Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Absolutely, they are very dedicated and responsive to your needs. All you need to do is pick up the phone, make an appointment, and that number is 436-4424. 436-4424, Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Oh my goodness, it's Thursday, and a lovely lady is on the other end of the phone line. Good morning, Rita Ramsey. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. Thank you.
Wow, I don't even know where to start. Let's start with a little bit about Melania Trump. And I want to get your reaction as to the absolutely disgusting news media stories that started circulating this past week. We realized that Melania Trump had gone to the hospital, Walter Reed Hospital, had a kidney surgery, and she was recouping. But the media, they decided to twist this all to pieces, and some wrote slovenly stories about, oh no, she's out of sight because Donald Trump beat her up. My goodness, respond to that if you would, please.
I think it's just absolutely ridiculous. You know, darn good and well they wouldn't have ever said anything about Michelle Obama that way. I really think what the scoop is, I mean, she had a very serious surgery, so it's kind of like, she's a model. Would she want to have pictures of her coming out from surgery or coming home to recoup and not looking like, you know, $1 million, and then have those kind of pictures just pasted all over everywhere for the next 7 years?
You know, I totally agree with that viewpoint, and you brought up an excellent point there, too. But not only did the media in general kind of go after a story that is not going to be proven as true, it's fake news, but this woman, if you want to call her that, she's absolutely at the gutter level, Samantha Bee, using some of the most absolutely filthy language to talk about Ivanka Trump. What were your thoughts about that?
I just can't believe that somebody hasn't just totally shut her down. That is just absolutely horrible. And the thing that's just sad about it is she wouldn't ever have said anything about the Clintons or the Obamas or anybody else Democrat. She's just got to throw it at any Republicans, and especially at Trump, because that's where they're at now, is anything we can do to insult any of the Trump family, whether it's their kids or even their little boy or any of them, we'll just do whatever we can, and you know, it's okay. They wouldn't have done it against any Democrats, and they never do.
You know, and speaking of Donald Trump in this next part of our story, you know, the media is absolutely out trying to headhunt him every day and try to lay the blame at his feet. He made the invitation to the Philadelphia Eagles world champion football team to come to the White House. He made the plans along with his staff to have a great big party for them. They, the Philadelphia Eagles, the snotty black and white athletes that want to sit or kneel during our national anthem, they want to be spoiled athletes. They want to do their way. They refused to come, and Donald Trump withdrew the invitation. And then the slovenly media, they blame Trump for not being a nice guy.
Well, yes, and then you've got some basketball players who think they're the cream of the crop, jumped on board, too, and started blaming Trump instead of the others. I think that it's time for Americans to show these spoiled brat millionaire ball players, athletes, who's in charge, and it's the guy with the dollar bills paying for the games, to see the games and buying the paraphernalia. They just need to just totally say, you know what, we're done with you. We used to idolize you. We thought you were really good. We've spent all kinds of money going to your games, looking at your games, watching the TV shows. I mean, they need to even get rid of the ESPN, that type of thing. If they would just do that and show their, being united in this and get rid of these kinds of things, all of a sudden you'd have some humble ball players saying, if we're going to be able to retain our salaries or even keep our jobs, we're going to have to regain the American people that have been supporting us all these years. They just think they can just write a figure, and their own team owners will just pay them whatever they want. Well, if the money's not coming in there, the team owners are business people, and they're going to go, not so much, and maybe they'll change. They thought that they did a little turnaround when they, came up with the rules and regulations are going to change, and those who don't want to stand for the national anthem can stay in the locker room, and the rest of them will come out there. And for them to do that was just absolutely ridiculous. They should have just said, you know what, everybody's going to go out, stand at attention, be respectful. That's all you have to do. I heard somebody on one of the talk radios, I think it was yesterday, it might have been the day before, said, it just really broke my heart when you see those players over in England playing their opening games of their sports, and they're standing there during the playing of, God Save the Queen or whatever it is for England, and yet they wouldn't stand or just be respectful during our own. It was a veteran that had called in.
Right.
And so it's just one of those things that's just really sad to think that these owners are letting them get away with this, but more that Americans are, because they love sports so much that they're not willing to say, you know what, I'm not going to watch anymore. And it's really sad. I heard yesterday it was a kind of a commemoration of the invasion of Normandy on D-Day, and I was listening to Ronald Reagan's speech at Normandy in 1984, which was absolutely wonderful. If you want to listen to something that just reminds you about all of those patriots, listen to his speech. But anyway, they were talking about D-Day and the events that happened, and after that speech was done playing, then the host on the radio show said, this is what the Star-Spangled Banner is all about. It's not about football players and basketball players and these millionaire brats. It's about our veterans and people who have been willing to put up their lives and go over and defend other countries and defend our freedoms and everything. That's what it's about. It's not what they're saying it's about.
Well, I have changed my attitude on sports in general. Nobody loves sports more than I do. Wheels, there's feedback on the line again. Nobody loves sports more than I do, whether it's football season, basketball season, or baseball season. I am dedicated. But I draw the line now because I'm not going to support the NFL. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with the opening kickoff in September of the NFL season to see if these very underworked, overpaid, prima donna black athletes are going to cause more dissension and disruption. And if they do, I'm going to do all I can on behalf of this program to lead the charge for people to turn it off, leave it off, and not support anything to do with the National Football League. And I leave the door open also for players that I detest in the NBA, like LeBron James and Stephen Curry, that are also trying to lead a charge against not only our patriotism, but against rules and regulations in this country.
Well, absolutely. And the only way that you make these people understand what you're talking about is the dollar sign, of which they have had so much money and so much fame with their, excelling in their sport that they've just been paid whatever they wanted, and it needs to come to a halt and say, you know what? If you're going to make this kind of money, you're going to go by our rules, and our rules are respecting the people of our country who are paying for you, as well as those who have paid the ultimate price, those who are willing to go toward a sacrifice, those who are out on the streets every day taking care of us and keeping us safe. We're not going to have you defaming them anymore. So just get off your high horse and either play ball and get a check or go down the road.
Rita, the obvious question to these absolute punk jocks is what they are, is, okay, where else in the world are you going to go and utilize the talent that God gave you to play a child's game and play and receive that kind of money?
Well, that's just it. There isn't one, or they would be there.
Absolutely. I've got to ask you, were you listening to the first hour of my program this morning?
Mostly. I was kind of busy in here, but yes, mostly I was.
I've got to ask you your response to what I brought up this morning about a family of 6 right here in this area spending $365 a month on their EBT card for ice cream.
The biggest problem with those types of deals is that there were not regulations put in. You will spend this money for this type of stuff, and electronically they can do it, and they used to do it. I remember years ago going to the store when people had food stamps, and there were certain kinds of things that they could purchase with them and other kinds of things that they couldn't. And the things that they could purchase were the food stuff that were basic and that they needed, cereal, milk, bread, eggs, probably certain types of meat, just some of the real basic things, and the rest of it those food stamps wouldn't cover. And I think originally, I don't know this for sure because I'm not real experienced in this department, that when they got the card so that they wouldn't be embarrassed by having to put food stamps out there, was that they could buy certain types of food still and certain things wouldn't cover it. Now, they can buy whatever they want, whenever they want, and nobody pays attention to what they're buying. They even sell their cards and their money on them to other people so that they can just get cash instead of having to use that card for certain things. It's just really sad to think that we are doing that and letting this be okay. And I, like many others, have mentioned, we know that there are people out there, and it's our responsibility to take care of those who are needy and or can't provide for themselves. But that's not where we're at with those types of things. We're at the point of where this is extra, and it's just coming out of mine and your pockets. They can buy whatever they want, and there's no accountability for it. And they don't have to pay anything back. And that's the sad thing is that we heard yesterday on some different news reports that Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, I don't know exactly which ones, that it could be a combination of all of them, are only going to be solvent through 2026, which is 8 years from now.
Right.
8 short years.
Right.
And was it 3 years ago that they said, oh, it'll be good until 2030 or whatever, and now all of us, or till 2040, now all of a sudden, 3 years later, we're upon it, and it's these types of things that are draining that system. And as was mentioned by the report that I was listening to, people over 55 are not in a place where they can turn around and redo their portfolios and that type of thing,
right,
to where they can go without receiving that.
That's absolutely right. But, looking at the cost and the amount of on a per month basis, this isn't just 1 month. The person and the persons that I contacted to get more information on this said that this is almost an average monthly expenditure of $365 a month for ice cream for a family of 6. Do you realize that when Jake and Toby were in my house, living in my house, we didn't spend $365 a year on ice cream?
Well, most of us don't. The thing of it is these types of people, it's just kind of like, well, we'll just go whatever we want. Maybe they were having a birthday party at the ice cream place.
You could have one heck of a big Christmas or birthday party.
How far it has gotten out of control.
Absolutely. But anyway, another thing I wanted to mention to you this morning is the little bit of seepage of what really happened with the Obama administration, and we'll call it the money laundering with the Iranian nuclear deal. Rita, I'm going to make a little prediction to you, my dear lady, that in the next month to 2 months, we're going to learn so much more about Obama and the shady characters involved in that Iranian deal and the laundering of money, and possibly even trying to utilize our own financial system here in the United States. This dude is going to break apart like a cheap kind of a suit, if you will.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I know a number of years ago I saw a little presentation made, and what it showed a lot of those people. There was Soros was in there, Bill and Hillary were in there, the Obamas were in there, and they were, and so was Al Gore. They were amongst the ones who were in that deal where we're going to buy the green stuff back, and if you pay X amount of dollars, you can get your so much energy that you can use, because we're going to put a clamp down on it and that type of thing. And the whole elaborate thing was just a big money laundering where they were going to pull money from someplace. It was going to go into this big fund, and then it would be dispersed to these people who owned it, similar to, I think they were thinking that they could set up, and it's probably working out pretty good for them, a deal similar to the Fed, where they just get a kickback off of everything. Thing of it is it was money laundering so that it would never show that those funds came through to them individually, hence it being tax-free, hence it being no way for us to track down and find out how much money they really, got from all of this. And so for the Obamas to be doing that particular thing as well, I'm sure there are other players involved in it. I would guess that Soros probably is, at the helm of it himself. And these people are so corrupt, and they have taken so much money from the American people, and they're doing it tax-free, and it doesn't matter. You could go back, and I'll bet you we would find numbers of organizations very similar to that Iranian thing. You and I both know, and anybody who fails to think otherwise is just kidding themselves, that money that went to the Iranians, there had to be a huge kickback of tax-free going behind the scenes.
That's right.
A number of people.
That's right. Absolutely agree with you. Rita, I'm going to ask you to stay on the line for a moment. I've got to take a quick break for our weather forecast, brought to you by Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. Tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, bookkeeping services, retirement planning. They know, and they can, and they will help you and your family and your business. Offices in Burley and Rupert, Phillips Oaks Goodwin Crane and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like we're going to have some storm action for today. Here's your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. We are looking at some isolated rain showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Now, some of those storms could produce Small hail and gusty winds. Other than that, partly sunny skies with a high of 80. For tonight, that could continue, expecting a low of 52. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 84, slightly breezy winds out of the southeast, right around 5 miles an hour. For Friday night, partly cloudy skies with a low of 55. Saturday, mostly sunny and 81. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Range.
Thank you, Gina. Brought to everybody by Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And they're very, very helpful to people starting a business or maybe expanding a business or starting a corporation. Whatever they can help, they will help with their knowledge. As I said, they've been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for over 50 years. Phillips Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company with offices in Burley and Rupert. Rita, a couple of months ago, I heard about this story down in Stockton, California. I've got friends that I've known for years in Stockton, and I followed up, got my own information on it, but I reported again on it day before yesterday, where the mayor of Stockton, California wants to go and start handing out $500 checks to all the residents of Stockton. They call it universal income, and he said it's a way to make everybody on the same scale as far as buying power is concerned. First of all, I know you're going to probably say, oh yeah, where's that money going to come from? And oh yeah, it's going to make people like the deadbeats in our society even more dependent upon government. What are your thoughts?
Well, you're absolutely right of what you say. I would probably be thinking. The other thing in addition to that is, and you and I were raised this way, we know this, if everybody was equalized in how much money they had or received, like if it was all socially even today, those people who were rich, the rich people who were rich today, in several years, they would be the ones who are rich again because they know what to do, they know how to make money, they know how to conserve, they know how to spend their money and invest it, and to come up with ways of providing income. Those who don't would have nothing again. And so you can't really just go in and do that and say, well, we'll give everybody a start and it'll be equal and even. They'd be doing the same thing again down the road, not very many years. It's kind of like when you see somebody who is mega poor, wins the lottery, and they have literally millions of dollars at their fingertips, and within a few months, they're totally broke.
Right.
And it's because they don't know how to manage it. They haven't learned. They haven't decided, I'm going to be a good manager and do things so that I can be independent.
Well, you know, right there, independent, and then also dash self-responsibility and self-worth. You're not teaching anybody or helping anybody really by handing them an additional check, whether they call it universal income or whatever. You're not helping that person by giving them $500. You're creating a bigger dependency.
Well, that's exactly right, and you probably did this with your kids. I did it with mine. My parents did it with me. Is when I was growing up, if I wanted something specific out of the ordinary, my parents would say, well, you need to do a few things and earn some money on your own, and then you can do this. And that's one of the very best ways of teaching kids the value of a dollar, how to save and work for what you want. And a lot of times you get to the point where you think, I've just about got enough money to buy that, whatever it was, and you're kind of going, man, I had to work a long time for this. I don't think it's worth it. And then you decide, I'm going to hang on to it and get more or do whatever I need, but I'm not going to waste it on that thing that you were wanting to do. And that's called life lessons, and that's what we're not teaching our society anymore. There's no life lessons. We all need to be equal, and we all need to, be just, everything's okay. Somebody will take care of you, and it's going to break down.
Absolutely. One final thought. Next Thursday, when we're on the program, it will be Flag Day. And I, for one, am going to do all I can to promote our great red, white, and blue with flags all over my yard, on my porch, etc. I urge everybody to get out and put out those flags, and to the naysayers, kind of stick it in their eye. I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud of that red, white, and blue. What are your thoughts quickly?
No, I think that's the way that we show that we're proud of America. We're proud Americans, and that we're grateful to those who have sacrificed and been willing to go out and keep us free.
Rita, it's always a treat, and I mean that, to have you on the program, and thank you for all your viewpoints, and we'll look forward to next Thursday. Enjoy a great, great weekend.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Rita Ramsey, and I've got a lot of respect for that lady, and always look forward to having her on the program. Excuse me. Little frog in my throat. No, seriously, next Thursday is Flag Day, and I know in my office I've probably got 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm counting them all, about 13 flags, and we're going to decorate our place. I urge you to decorate yours. Be proud of the United States of America. Right now, I'm hungry. I make no bones about it, and I got to tell you about some great places to eat. If you're hungry and starving to death, how about the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley? All kinds of delicious shakes and ice cream cones and fish burgers and famous Farmer Brown burgers with the fries and the special sauce. Oh my, they treat you like a king and a queen at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Stop in and enjoy a great meal today. How about Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley? Oh my goodness sakes, have you tried one of their breakfast burritos? Knock your boots off delicious. I mean, scrambled eggs, bacon and sausage, cheese, onions, tomatoes, sauce on a tortilla shell. Woo, baby, that's a great way to start the day. And of course, all through the day, they've got delicious choices on their menu, like the new pork burritos. Check it out. Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. And 2 locations of Burgers Etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And they've got that medium spicy chicken combo with the fries and the drink, only $5. And every Sunday at the Burley location, shrimp dinner, only $5.99. Oh, delicious milkshakes and really, really nice, helpful people at Burgers Etc. Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. And last but not least, Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. Absolutely delicious buffalo burgers and salads. And oh my goodness, the lettuce from the Casota Lettuce Farm and tomatoes grown at the hydroponics farm. Oh my goodness sakes, delicious salads. I love salads. Well, I'll tell you what, you're going to love it. The patio's open on Friday, and they got live music on the weekends at Steve-O's. Great place to eat, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. You stop in and see them this weekend. And those are just a few great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. Hey, don't forget, coming up next hour at 10:10, we got Cache County School Days, our business salute, and then at 10:30, the old fishing hole. I tell you what, we got a full hour. Right now, we're going to turn it back over to Old Wheels at the studio, and we'll be back in about 7 minutes. Oh my, as we look out the north window right now, we can see sunshine and some clouds. Not too bad out there today. Good morning, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. If you're getting ready for a road trip, they've got all your tires. Stop in and see them today. And some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Hey, there's going to be a great big auction going on this Saturday up in Shoshone, the Garrett Construction Auction, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and the Bennett Boys Auction Service putting this sale on. Absolutely, it's at 503 South Rail Street in Shoshone. Get on up there, starting at 10 o'clock. They're going to have trucks, and they're going to have trailers, and they're going to have construction equipment and building supplies and and tractors and welders and even a speedboat. You better get up and check it out. This great big sale, 10 o'clock Saturday morning in Shoshone, the Garrett Construction Auction, managed by the Bennett Boys Auction Service. Joe Bennett and the crew, no sale too big, no sale too small. The Bennett Boys, they do sell them all. In just a few minutes, we're going to have Cassia County School Days, and I want to remind you again that there is going to be an American Legion Post 77 over in Paul annual German sausage breakfast. I can't think of a better breakfast anywhere at any time. They're going to have coffee and orange juice and eggs and hotcakes and hash browns and German sausage. Whoa, all you can eat, don't forget. They're also going to be selling sausage by the pound to take home. Whoa, baby. This is going to be Saturday morning. Don't you miss it at the Wilbur C. Hall at 132 East Wayne Street in Paul. Going to be a lot of fun. Right now it's time for Cassia County School Days, and we're real proud of our two sponsors of Cassia County School Days. We have, first of all, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. And you know that this is a great place to go in and get all the baby presents and the baby furniture and the baby clothing. Oh my, yes. And they've got young boys suits starting at just $52 for size 2. And they've got the Cherokee scrubs. They've got it all for you. They're at a family store, A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And also, our thanks go out to the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley for your outpatient surgeries. They can save you money, like on life-saving colonoscopies and carpal tunnel surgery, knee surgery, etc. Please call the number 677-8888, and they will tell you all you need to know. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you School Days in Cassia County. And right now we're going to go to the phone line, and we have with us a lady by the name of Jennifer Woodbury, and she's the Curriculum Assessment and Data Coordinator for the District of Cassia County, and I haven't got a clue what all that means. Jennifer, explain it to me in simple language, would you please?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well, Jennifer. Thank you. What does it mean to... What does it mean to have it said that you are the Curriculum Assessment and Data Coordinator? Sounds to me like you've got a lot of hats to wear.
It is a mouthful, isn't it? It's actually really quite a fun job. So basically, on the curriculum side, I get to help implement and stay informed and train the teachers on what they teach, and then once we are in the classrooms and we're teaching those things, comes the assessment piece where we assess to see that the students are progressing and learning. So I get to help collect all the scores. And then after we collect all the scores, I get to turn around and turn that into some data analysis so that we have reports. So we know that what we're teaching is working for our kids and that it's effective in the classroom.
Wow. Now, let's talk a little bit about the curriculum, maybe whether it's math or maybe it's English or maybe it's history. How do you sit down and kind of go from A to Z as to what you want to accomplish, what you want the kids to learn, and how to get there? That doesn't sound real easy to me.
You know, it's a process. And so, as you know, we have state standards that we follow. And so those are kind of our guide that we use to know what students at each grade level are needing to know or to learn. And so we start right there with the standards. And then once we look through those, we have grade level teams and content specialists and grade level specialists that help us to really dive into those standards and to know what needs to be taught. And then we take a look at the curriculum, which is what we use as a tool to teach those standards. And so there's many curriculums out there, and so we try very hard at Cassia County to select curriculum that best meets the needs of the students to make sure that they are learning those standards. And it's a group effort. Depending on which subject or grade level it is, a team of teachers and administrators will come together, and it's a year-long process most of the time. We just went through an ELA adoption for our K-6 schools this year, and it was a year-long process. And we brought a team together,
and we discussed the standards, and we looked at different curriculum samples, and we decided which ones were going to work best in our classrooms and teach the kids the standards and be enjoyable for them. And so it really is it's a process to get that done.
Let me ask you this question, and I'm not trying to sound negative, but I would imagine it can and might happen. Do you ever have the occasion where teachers kind of jump off the rails a little bit and get way, way out in the weeds, and they need to be brought back into the actual curriculum that you want to promote?
You know, we have such good teachers in our district, and they're so passionate about what they do. And, you know, the purpose of a curriculum is to keep everybody moving forward in the same direction so that the kids in our district have equal opportunity. And the biggest thing is even, you know, people might have different opinions on which ones they like best or whatever it is, but, you know, when all is said and done, at the end of the day, once the curriculum is chosen, it's important that we remember that we're a team and that we work together. And if we decide on a curriculum, sometimes it might be our top choice, and sometimes it might be the one that we might second or third. But collectively, it was the choice that most people thought was the best choice for that subject or grade level. And so, you know, I would say it's just important to remember that we're a team.
Jennifer, let me ask you.
Pretty good at that.
Let me ask you this, Jennifer, in regards to, let's use history as an example. Let's say that you want to go through the Revolutionary War and the Civil War and talk about how the foundations of our country were built and established. What happens if you spend too much time on one subject or the other? Is it too hard to catch up? I mean, I can see this happening in history. I was really devoted to learning about the Civil War more so than the Revolutionary War. Can teachers spend too much time on various subjects?
You know, we have pacing guides to help with that. You know, if you're passionate about a certain subject or topic within your content area or your grade level, sometimes, you know, it would be easy to get carried away. So we have things in place to help our teachers to move through those things, and we want them to teach the things they enjoy. You know, within a respectable time frame. And so the grade level teams in the content areas, they come together and they look at the standards and they look at the curriculum, and they actually map out their entire year before the year even begins.
Oh.
So they know exactly how much time to spend on each subject as they move through it.
I see. Now, Debbie Critchfield sent me a note that said you're going to also mention a project or a study on Right Tools. What does that mean?
Yes. I love Right Tools. Right Tools is a K-12 program that has strategies to teach children from a very young age and all the way up so that they're college ready to know how to write. And we brought in trainers. We do it every year. And so at the Burley Inn, our first week of summer, and our teachers are already busy learning. And so they've been out many of them have been out at the Best Western Convention Center learning how to teach students how to write. And there is different genres, and so the program consists of, there's a narrative class, an informational explanatory class, and an opinion argumentation class. And then there was also one that we did, a little one-day course that was just specifically built for emergent writers and readers, which is like a K2, and then a text-dependent analysis portion for the upper grades, the secondary, and even the higher elementary. So we were really excited about that. It's a really good program.
And let me ask you something, Jennifer, and I love to write, and I've written quite a few things, articles, and I'm still finishing my book. But I maintain, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, you're not going to hurt my feelings, I think that sometimes teaching can be too rigid and stymie the student trying to get his point across. In other words, I think they need to loosen up a little bit and get the point across, and then go back and teach more about the proper grammar and everything else. Am I right or wrong?
Well, I wouldn't say that that's necessarily right or wrong. It's just, you know, writing, there's a lot to writing. You know, you have the structural part of it, which is what you were talking about, where, you know, the rigid part, I guess you would say, where there is specific ways that you organize your thoughts on paper that let people follow your thought patterns. And then on the other side, there's the creative side of it, where you get to add and choose and put your own personality into it. And what I love about Right Tools is that it offers the templates for the students to learn the writing process and the parts of a paper that is written well. But then on top of that, it also shows them tips and tricks to kind of put their own personality into it.
Okay.
And so I think there's got to be a balance between those two things. I think we need the creative side. Writing as a whole is a creative art. But I also think that we need just that little bit of structure so that people can follow our thought patterns and they move and they flow and they roll off the tongue. So I think it's a combination of the two together. I think they balance each other out.
I totally agree with you. But one thing I want to ask you, though, in this day and age of all the smartphones and the computers and the internet, are you finding it difficult to compete to teach kids how to write, how to sit down and transfer their thoughts from their mind to a piece of paper or whatever? Is it more difficult today than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago?
You know, attention spans have definitely changed. We would be ignoring something that's a fact if we didn't recognize that. You know, everything is very immediate. But the cool thing about writing is kids still have an imagination. It's still up in there. So if you can teach them that writing is a tool that they can use to express their imaginative thoughts, and you can teach them from a young age, then they learn to love to write. And that's the important thing, and that's why we have started implementing writing even in our kindergarten classes, you know, at such a young age, and it builds on each other. And I think, you know, you have to, a lot of it depends on the attitudes of the teachers, too, and our teachers love to write. And so if our teachers love to write, then they're going to convey that to their students, that this is fun, this is a cool thing that you can learn how to do. And then slowly, all the way up through the grade levels, they just continue to build and build and build on those skills. And I think that helps them to know that they can be creative with that, helps with their attention span in learning to write. You know,
the one thing I've learned and the one thing I've appreciated with all the many, many people that Debbie Critchfield has lined up for this program, Cassia County School Days, is their enthusiasm for their job. And Jennifer, you just bubble up when you talk about your job. How long have you been doing this?
You know, this is actually my 13th year with the district, and I've worn many hats, just like I wear many hats now. I started off forever ago. I substituted, and then I taught PE for 2 years, and then I was in the library for 5 years. Both of those were at Dorshack Elementary, and then I taught second grade for 5 years, also at Dorshack. And so this was my first complete school year as the curriculum assessment and data coordinator, and I have loved every minute of it. And every other opportunity that the district has given me to teach and to learn and to grow and to be a part of the community.
I tell you what, it's people like you and the folks that I've visited with on this program, I just really am impressed with the quality of people and the quality of teaching. And I think that we don't have to take a back seat to anybody. What are your thoughts about that?
I love our district. I think we have a fabulous staff in our schools, you know, in our central office. I think you can't go wrong. There's so many people that are passionate about their job, that are you know, we work together well as a team. I enjoy working for this district, and I think if we continue to work together as a team, there's no stopping us.
There you go. I love it. Jennifer Woodbury, and she is the Curriculum Assessment and Data Coordinator for Cassia County School District. Jennifer, come back again. I really enjoyed having you on the program.
Well, thank you so much. It was very nice to be on your show.
All right, thank you. Nice lady right there, Jennifer Woodbury. And, of course, that's Cassia County School Days, brought to you by two great sponsors, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, a family store. Believe me, they've got everything, all the games, the toys, the puzzles, the clothing, the furniture, all there at A Child's World. And Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland in Burley, and they can help you save money on your outpatient surgeries like life-saving colonoscopies, knee surgeries, carpal tunnel surgeries. Check it out. Give them a call at 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and, of course, A Child's World, serving you on Cassia County School Days. dropped everything, and I almost tipped the water over on my lap. Oh, my goodness sakes. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. We've had a great program so far, and we've got a good friend of ours on the air right now as part of our business salute, and that happens to be Randy Wynn with Tires West Les Schwab. Randy, how are you this morning?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you today, Deb?
Not too bad. What are you doing so far now that the weather has kind of turned warm, and I don't know if you're a fisherman or whatever. What does Randy Wynn do when he leaves Tires West and just runs away?
Not a lot. A little golf, just relaxing, a little swimming. Not too exciting, Zeb. Just the normal things. So.
Okay, now I got to ask you, before we get talking about Les Schwab Tire Centers and all the wonderful service things you do, you are also one of the excellent basketball officials in this area, and you've been all over the United States, as a matter of fact. This game they call basketball now in the pros, it's almost like professional wrestling. Would you agree or disagree?
Yeah, it's those players are so big, so talented, the best in the world. It's pretty overwhelming. I have 5 or 6 buddies that I did college with that referee and that staff now, and yeah, it's pretty intense. You get the best athletes in the world, and you're out there, and a microscope is on you, and it's pretty hard. It's a pretty tough level to officiate for sure.
All right, now let's talk a little bit about what's going on at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And road trip time, everybody jump in the van, let's take off and see Aunt Martha and Uncle Fred. Tell us a little bit all the different tires for cars and pickups and SUVs. You've got them all over there, don't you?
Yeah, right now, in June, Zeb, we have the Get Road Trip Ready promotion. And our top tires on sale right now, the Toyo, the Ultra Z900, the 80,000-mile tire, is on sale. But we also have the pickup tire, the Toyo Open Country Highway terrain, that's also on sale right now. And then we're also promoting our brand-owned tires, the Road Control, which is the car tire that Les Schwab sells, that Cooper builds, and also the Backcountry, the pickup and SUV tires. We have those on sale, and we're promoting them too. We're doing a lot of those and a lot of trailer tires. People are traveling for the summer, for the holiday, for the Memorial holiday that was just here, and so we've been putting a lot of trailer tires on. People fifth wheel trailers, campers, things like that. So we've been pretty busy with that too.
Randy, tell everybody at all of the Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers the best tire value promise in the industry. What does that mean?
Well, with every tire we sell, we don't charge extra for the warranty. It comes with the road hazard warranty, our workmanship and defect of material warranty. Comes with free flat repairs for the life of the tire, free rotations, free rebalance. Not just at our store, in any of the Les Schwab stores anywhere. There's about 500 of us now in the West, from Denver to the West Coast, and so you're protected. If your kids go to college somewhere, if you're out of town traveling on vacation, if there's a Les Schwab there, it's just like being here at your own store. We'll take care of you the same at that store, and the same warranties, same guarantees as you would get here.
And, you know, I think a lot of us, we just jump in our four-wheeled wonders and we start the ignition and drive off. But really, we need to be cognizant about safety and our tires and our brakes. What is this? And explain it a little bit about a free pre-trip safety check.
Yeah, people, we just did one of those just a minute ago. People come in and want to leave town or whatever. We do a quick, what's called, like you said, the free pre-trip safety check. We'll check your pressure in your tires, make sure they're aired up properly, look at them and see if there's any alignment wear that's showing on the tread, any irregular tire wear that we need. We look under the front end, check your brakes, check your shocks, do a load test on the battery, make sure that's okay to go, because there's no fun of being on the side of the road in 100-degree weather on a freeway with a tire that's blown out, or somewhere and all of a sudden you stop somewhere to get something and your car won't start. So we try to check all of that and make sure you don't have kind of a stress-free trip. Go through all of the important parts of your vehicle and make sure they're working properly.
Randy, today everybody's in a hurry to get things done, and they're paying more attention to the smartphone and what's going on. Do they really, are they aware of the dangers of not making sure that they maintain good tires and good brakes? Do they really, are they cognizant, or boy, do you have to really kind of inform them when they stop in?
Well, I think sometimes it slips their mind, but we have a lot of people that come in that want us to do this safety check on their vehicle. Because what I said before, they just don't want to be out on the road and have trouble. So, unless it slips their mind, I think people are pretty cognizant of it, pretty aware of it, and yeah, and it's a good program. And boy, if we find any issues with anything, we can get it taken care of before you leave. But I think most people are pretty self-aware of their vehicle, and hopefully keep it in shape for when they travel.
You know, let's talk a little bit about service. And every time I stop in, whether I'm on the road someplace and I need help and assistance, I stop into a Les Schwab Tire Center. But I know that right here in southern Idaho, with all 7 locations, service, the word service and the application of that word, you folks really take care of your customers.
Well, we try to, and I've always told you this, seems like every time I'm on, but my dad, when he used this store, he always told me that everybody sells tires, but service is what sets you apart. So, boy, the last thing people want to do is spend a lot of hours in the tire store. That's probably the least fun thing they want to do. So we try to get people in and out as quick as we can, you know, and hopefully we do the job right so people don't have to come back with any issues. So, yeah, service reigns supreme, and you want to make sure things are done properly and people are in and out quickly, for sure. So.
Well, I'm really proud to have these folks as our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, Randy Wynn over at Tires West, and, of course, Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, and Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, along with Randy on Overland. Randy, God bless you, man, and I hope we talk again soon, but have a really, really great summer.
Thank you, Zeb. We appreciate you, too. So you, too. Have a good day.
All right, sir. Randy Wynn, and I just can't say enough about how good they've been to us and how great they will serve you, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and they are really caring people. Okay, let's see what we got cooking here. We're going to take a little break in a minute, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to have the Old Fishing Hole on the program, sponsored by Sportsman's Warehouse. And then, after the weather at 10:45, a dear friend of this program, Gary Shoresman, is going to be on the air for a few minutes with a project that he's working on. So we've still got a whole bunch more to take care of right here on Zeb at the Ranch, but we're going to send it over to Wheels right now at our main studio.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
You know, for years and years and years, when I was a young man growing up back in Wisconsin, I was hooked on fishing, literally, and I tried to go fishing all the time. And then I went to college, and I kind of got away from it, and I came out here, and I didn't do as much as I wanted to. In the last couple of years, I've really redeveloped a sense of wanting to get away and go fishing, and I credit a lot of my wanting to go fishing to this guy right now that's on our program. His name is Josh, and he's the head fishing guru at Sportsman's Warehouse in Twin Falls, 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin, and he is the man that right now is out at Salmon Dam. Good morning, Josh. How are you?
Oh, doing good, Zeb. It's a beautiful morning.
Now, we had a little rain last night, and I called you at about 6:30 this morning and was talking to you about fishing. What's cooking out there as far as what's biting, what to do, what not to do at Salmon Dam? And tell us what you're trying to catch.
Oh, right now I've been trying to catch a walleye or two all morning. Ended up only getting about one that's about 19 inches. Caught it on about a 4-inch grub. Tried swim baits and jigs and worms and all sorts of different things, and all I've really caught is about 4 or 5 bass and that nice little walleye.
Well, now when
you're a little late, though, I mean, there's traffic out here on the highway. If you end up wanting to come out here, expect at least a 30-minute delay.
Oh, my. All right. Well, now listen, Josh, the thing I don't know, and this is where I use your expertise. You're going out there and you say you're trying to catch walleye. How do you know what lures? How do you know what bait? How do you know what tackle to take if you're going after a respective certain kind of fish?
Walleye species is going to be a very aggressive species. Its majority of its forage is other fish. So usually what you're going to be using is something that's going to dictate another fish or look like another fish, whether it be like a Rapala Shad Rap or a 3 or 4 inch swim bait or like a 4-inch grub. But if you're out here targeting walleye, you're probably going to want to use something that represents another fish. But don't get me wrong, I bring worms and a jig head because I've had days that that's all I could catch them on. So, but the problem with jigs and worms and stuff like that, a lot of times you'll get a lot of non-target species, which I've caught a lot of bass on that jig head and a worm this morning.
Okay. Now, Josh, let me ask you this question then. Now, I'm assuming that the walleye is a member of the pike family. Is it not, like the northern pike and the muskellunge? Is that true?
More like a perch.
Oh, really?
Perch-like family.
Okay. And how do you know?
I'm not sure if a pike or muskellunge, honestly, is in the perch family, but a perch and a walleye are kind of in that same genre.
Okay.
The walleye or a zander is a big form of it.
If you're going to study fishing like you, and I'm so impressed with your knowledge on not only the tackle and the bait, but where to go, when to go. I mean, what do you tell people if they say, well, I'm going to go walleye fishing? What's the best time to go? What about their equipment? Kind of give us a carryover as to what they need if they're going to go fishing out at Salmon Dam for walleye.
Really, if you're going to pick one rod for everything, a good like medium light action rod with some 8-pound test monofilament or fluorocarbon line would give you a wide array of options of what you could do out here, from throwing a worm or sinking a Rapala or anything like that. It would be a good way to start on the rod and reel.
Okay, and then
of course you'll find like some niches where you'll want like an ultralight rod or something a little heavier. But if you had to pick one, a medium light action rod, 6'6", 7 foot, 8-pound test line, you could come out here with a few baits and have a good opportunity of putting a fish on the bank.
Now, I had a call after last week's program, Josh, and this is old hat to you, but there was a gentleman that called and he says, you know what, I've never gone fishing in my life. I have no clue as to what to do, what to buy, and he says, I don't even know how to tie a hook onto a line. What would you tell people like that when they go into Sportsman's Warehouse? Do you kind of sit down with them and give them a little informational seminar? What happens there?
Depending on how busy we are, we definitely will, one-on-one take care of the customer and try to get exactly what he needs and find his needs. A big value to us, in this day and age, is YouTube. If you can get on YouTube and just look at fisherman knots, stuff like that, and practice with some yarn or something, it'll definitely take you a long way. But we also have books that we can offer in the store. We have videos that we can offer in the store. Plus, we have 4 or 5 fishing gurus in the store that are very knowledgeable and know just about every lie that I know.
What about the hooks? Now, I'm not trying to be facetious on this part, but, how do fishermen know what size hook will be the best for what they're going after?
Really, it's going to come down to the bait and the mouth of the fish. But, if you're using a big bait, normally you're going to be using a big hook because you got to get that point exposed. If you put too big of a bait on too small of a hook, they'll get the bait in their mouth and you'll never actually hook up. So matching the bait to the hook is going to be your most priority in picking it out. And then there are some different shapes and different attributes, like a bait holder hook for worms. And then there's like an offset worm hook for bass fishing with plastics. And there's definitely some specifics you'd have to try to, if you're trying to be specific. But if you're just going out with a worm and a marshmallow or some power bait, a good bait holder hook and a size 6 is going to probably do everything you ever need.
Do you ever, at Sportsman's Warehouse in Twin Falls, Josh, do you ever have seminars where you can teach first-time fishermen or women really kind of the basics as to what to do, whether they're fishing from the shore or from a boat?
What we have had at the store is like seminars on specifics. Like we've had the Kokobo guys come down from Boise, and they kind of are specific for Anderson Ranch and Lucky Peak and catching kokanee. And we've had bass fishing seminars that, give you the basics of bass fishing. But we haven't done a beginner class, honestly.
Okay. Now, what about the time of the day? I mean, a lot of people say, well, we got to get up at 3 in the morning and hit the banks of the creek or the lake or whatever and fish early in the morning. What do you say as far as really what are the best times of the day to go fishing?
Honestly, there's those twilight periods, and they're right. If you can get out here before the sun comes up and fish before and a little bit after, you'll have better luck. Right about noon, give or take a couple hours, you'll have a small window where the fish will actually move up and feed. And then, that evening, sometimes, an hour after the sun sets is the 30 minutes that you want to be out there. Really comes down to the time of the year and the stress that's put on the fish. If the water temperature is really high for trout, they're only going to feed when it's the coolest part of the day.
Okay.
They like the water in that 40 to 50 degree range. When it's in that 60 and 70 degree range, they're more seeking cold water, and they don't really want to eat.
So are you...
Bass, on the other hand, 65, 70 degrees, and it's red hot, and his metabolism's going. Totally different species of fish.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this question. What about those that fish on the bank versus the boat? Do they have to stand on the bank and hurl that line out there about 60, 70 yards? Or are there places along the bank that they need to be aware of that they can fish fairly close to the shoreline?
Well, today I'm fishing the shoreline, and I've caught my fish, within that 10 or 12 foot to 2 foot range, bringing the bait towards the shore. But here at Salmon Dam, if you get on some of these back roads and you start hopping rocks, you might run into some unfriendly critters. I've already ran into 2 rattlesnakes this morning.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully everybody's okay.
Oh, yeah, it's all good. It's great to be out here and seeing the wildlife and all, but I think that's why the Salmon Dam, a lot of people think that you have to have a boat, because hopping these rocks ain't for the faint of heart.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about Sportsman's Warehouse Fishing Department in Twin at 1940 Bridgeview. You've been there for a long time. You are the, like I said, resident guru. Tell us a little bit about what folks can look for and find at Sportsman's Warehouse.
When you get in there, we got a multitude of employees with a bunch of different backgrounds where, depending on what you're trying to be specific in, if you ask, one of our employees, we'll usually, if we don't know, have a guy that's very knowledgeable in that aspect, and we're going to go find him, and we're going to get you the best customer service that we possibly can and get you the right tools to get out there and have fun.
What are the hours that not only are you there, but the hours of Sportsman's Warehouse during the week so that we can make sure our fishermen get in there and get a chance to meet you?
Sundays we're going to be 10 to 6, and then Monday through Saturday we're 9 to 9. I'm usually there closing on Monday, Tuesdays, and Fridays, and then I normally open on Saturday and Sunday.
You mentioned something, Josh, that I think is worth elaborating. You mentioned you're on the shoreline out at Salmon Dam, and you got to be really cognizant and careful about the rattlesnakes. As fishermen, when they're climbing over those rocks or trying to find a place to sit and throw their line out, do they need to have any special protection, like maybe a snake bite kit and that type of thing, of which you can get at Sportsman's Warehouse?
It really depends on how far you really want to wander. If you go to the normal places like the boat launch and Gray's Landing, Norton's Bay, Big Sandy, in the gravel pits, you probably won't have a problem. But where I parked, I literally hiked down some rock cliffs and got in between where everybody else normally goes.
Okay.
I think that would be one of those that if I go to Gray's Landing, Norton Bay, I feel a lot safer. I'm not as looking for the snakes as I would be, where up here I was actually looking for them, and I probably wouldn't even have found them if I wasn't looking for them.
Wow. Well, listen, I want to have you come back again next week, and I don't know where you're going to be exactly, but it's always interesting. Right now, this man, Josh, the guru of fishing at Sportsman's Warehouse, is out at Salmon Dam and fishing for walleye, and then also he's landed quite a few bass, but the fishing looks good for the rest of the day, right, Josh?
Yeah, it's beautiful out here right now. You could go water skiing, and there's no chop on the water. It's just glass, and the sun's out. I bet it's going to be like this until about 4 o'clock this evening.
Okay, well, the man knows, and I'm so proud to have him on our program. Josh, God bless you. Take care. Have a wonderful fishing day, and we'll talk to you next week.
God bless you too, Zeb, and thank you for the opportunity. You have a good day.
All right, and brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse. I mean, they've got everything there, all your fishing equipment and the knowledge to make sure that you have an enjoyable fishing excursion. Stop in and see them today or anytime and talk to Josh and the rest of the crew at 1940 Bridgeview Boulevard in Twin Falls, Sportsman's Warehouse. Right now, we got to have a weather forecast on real quick, brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657, or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Delicious meats, and remember, Daddy's Day, Father's Day is right around the corner. Maybe get a marinated prime rib. Oh, is that good? Or a smoked ham, or maybe breakfast bacons. They got them in various kinds, and all the breakfast sausages and the bratwurst. Oh, delicious. Scarrows Meats in Jerome. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Looks like we're going to have some storm action for today. Here's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch. We are looking at some isolated rain showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Now, some of those storms could produce small hail and gusty winds. Other than that, sunny skies with a high of 80. For tonight, that could continue, expecting a low of 52. Tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 84, slightly breezy winds out of the southeast, right around 5 miles an hour. For Friday night, partly cloudy skies with a low of 55. Saturday, mostly sunny and 81. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina, and brought to you by Don Scarrow and the crew at Scarrow's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, and the number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Scarrow's Meats. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we're going to go to the phone line, and with us on the phone is a gentleman that's been a friend of ours for a long, long time, and we say good morning to Gary Shoresman. Gary, how are you?
Good morning, Zeb. Thank you. I'm fine. Beautiful day. Summer's here.
It is. And you've got something coming up that you want to talk about. I'll let you kind of give us a thumbnail sketch of what's happening on June 23rd.
Okay, it's going to be Saturday, June 23rd at the Elks from 11 to 3. Now, many of you know, and some of you don't know, but I've been digitizing the Minidoka County newspapers from 1905 till it's ended in 2008. So we got about 111 years of papers to get digitized and on a film that we can play on TV. Anyway, I decided to do a benefit early on and do that locally so that the DeMary Library could have a copy and that the Minidoka County Museum could have a copy. And anyone could go there, and instead of going through all the books, they could actually just put that digitized film into the computer and pick a date or a name. We have name recognition. So it's turned out great. I have so far got I have come up with $25,000 of the original 67 that is needed to complete all of it.
Wow.
And I need $5,000 to complete up to 1960. So Jerry Voss, the Modern Woodman of America, came up to me and said that they would like to give a $2,500 charitable contribution, matched a donation.
Wow.
So the deal is that he got it okayed and all this, and all I have to do is come up with $2,500, and then I've got $5,000, and hopefully that will happen on the 23rd. So the Elks and yourself and the newspapers have all been very graciously being very charitable in their giving me access to their buildings and the news for a very small amount of money, if not any, and to make this come out because they like the project I'm working on. So as it turns out, we're going to have a nice light lunch, sandwiches and melon and some drinks on Saturday at noon. And then I'm going to give a PowerPoint presentation on the German and Italian prisoner of war camp that was west of Paul. And so that was from 1943 to 46. So I've got lots of pictures and good stories and this and that, bringing that all back to life again. And then we're going to have an auction. And I have the good fortune of acquiring a whole bunch of lithographs of Olaf Dieghorst, who is a Wild West artist who painted lots of the Navajo Indians and a lot of those canyon scenes and wild horses and all kinds of things. And they have been bequeathed to me from an aunt and uncle.
Wow.
Who bought them all back in 1983. And so some are framed and some are not, but they will be on view that day along with, we got a beautiful saddle and a wooden frame and a metal frame for a saddle. And then got some good old Spanish spurs from about 100 years old. And then we've got lots of other things from dishware to rowing machines and snow blowers and all kinds of things, as well as baked pies and cookies.
Wow.
So that will be kind of our day, just to kind of come out and hang out for a few hours there at the Elks in Rupert.
Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And, Gary, you just thrive on this time of thing, don't you? You love history, and you love putting this together.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was pretty vain as a youth and had a 32-inch waist and not a bad six-pack and all that kind of stuff. And when it started going away, I didn't know what I was going to do for the rest of my life. So now I'm living in the past in a much different way.
You know, this is a great event. And now how do you expect to get the funding? How can people help you, Gary?
Well, through the museum, the Minnetonka County Historical Society, and anybody that would ever write a check has to do it to them. And then make sure that I get it because I document it first, and then I take it to the museum, and then it gets documented again, and then it gets put into the bank. They have the 501c3 charitable donation tax deduction. And so that way, anything that they put in for this event and even for just the Digi process, and so anyway, I have one of my favorite times is, or stories, is that little old guy. This is a project that's made by a lot of the little people. I was surprised at some of the local banks that gave tremendous amount of money for the Rupert Centennial and this and that. I mean, thousands and thousands of dollars. I didn't have $50 for this project. But anyway, the little guy in our community is the one that are making this project happen. And for instance, one little man, he's a little older than me. I'm 76, but he was 80, and he said that he only had $5 if he was ever to give anything, and I don't suppose you'd ever want any that wouldn't help you at all. And I said, sir, I would be very proud to take your $5 and have your name on the list, because it's you and me and these kind of guys that's going to make this project work.
Absolutely.
It's coming from the little guy. It's not coming from huge, big donors. But the caveat for a lot of people is that it is tax deductible.
Absolutely. Gary, give us a little background. I've got about a minute and a half left. Tell us a little bit about Camp Rupert itself.
Camp Rupert, Senator Dworshak at that time from Idaho is the one that really kind of instituted this, but for Idaho and for having farm workers. But as it turns out, the people that came here were mostly captured Germans and Italians in North Africa. And a lot of them ended up here were SS officers. But they also, the camp was built in the summer of 43, in the fall of, and then it remained vacant until all the paperwork was done for how it was going to be for beet farmers, because a lot of people were in the war, so we had nobody to thin beets. So they set up. They had a hospital. They had barracks. They had offices. They had laundries. They had post office. They had absolutely anything and everything out there, plus an educational unit to learn American history and learn English and whatever. So it was a very well organized and very well camp. As one of the prisoners said, when they first got there and they had lunch, he thought it was for the week, and he realized that they were going to get dinner that night, and they were very happy that they were in prison, but he said, we're free.
Oh, my goodness.
And so, they had families at home, too.
Yep.
Not everybody was a hard-nosed SS officer, was hiring Hitler every 30 seconds.
Gary,
they were happy to be here. They were happy to be out of the fracas.
Gary,
Tons of stories from people who had them working in their fields, and I have their stories we'll talk about.
Gary, real quick, give us a real quick synopsis. I got 30 seconds left. The day, the time, and where. Tell us quickly.
2 weeks from now, Saturday, June 23rd, at the Rupert Elks. You can start showing up about 11. We'll have everything kind of all sewn up, or you can come at 12 or 1 or 2 or whatever. Then we'll have a luncheon with a light lunch. And then we'll have my program will probably start at 1 o'clock for the PowerPoint program. And that will run about a half hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And then as soon as I'm through with that, we'll jump right into the auction items.
All right. Gary Shoresman, dear friend, I'll have him back and talk about this again in the future. Gary, thank you for being on the program, and have a great weekend.
Well, Zip, thank you so much for being so public-oriented and so generous with your time for all of us out here.
You're very welcome, my dear friend. Thanks for calling in, Gary. I'll be in touch. Thank you again.
Okay.
All righty. Gary Shoresman, and a man that really, really knows all about history of this area. Hey, by the way, we talked to Randy earlier. Randy over at Overland location of Tires West, Les Schwab. Get ready for a road trip. They've got all the tires you need for safe driving to get where you're going and turn around and come back home. Absolutely, like the Ultra Z900. That tire's on sale right now. Great all-season traction tire. And don't forget, they've got tires for your cars, pickups, SUVs, horse trailers, boat trailers, everything. And they want you to drive safely. And be sure and ask for a free pre-trip safety check on your vehicle, checking your tires, your brake components, wheel alignment for tire wear, front-end components, shocks and struts, battery, including a load test. Please go into your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and realize what great service they provide to you. The best in brake service and front-end alignments and shocks and struts and batteries, all of this and more with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. The best, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. That's going to wrap it up for us today, and for that matter, the week. We're going to be back here on Monday, saddle the horse and ride for 3 hours on Zeb at the Ranch, right here on K-Bar 1230 AM, and then streaming live all over the world on ZebBell.com. And remember, the way things were are the way things ought to be. We'll see you Monday.